Mas o amor sabe o segredo. O medo pode matar o seu coração. Água de beber, água de beber, camarada. Água de beber, água de beber, camarada. Água de beber, água de beber, camarada. Água de beber.
Good morning, folks. Today, I'd like to talk about the Luna's Howl, a 140 RPM hand cannon obtainable from the Into the Light content drop. Despite being a 140 RPM hand cannon, the Luna's Howl rolls with the intrinsic precision frame archetype. This means that it gets an intrinsic 25 airborne effectiveness, and its recoil pattern is identical to that of a 180 RPM hand cannon. Because of the hand cannon's unique heritage, many players are drawn towards the magnificent Howl perk. However, I don't think this is all the hand cannon has to offer. Instead, I'd like to argue that this is one of, if not the most consistent hand cannon Destiny has ever seen. For those who want to know my preferred rolls, I'm going to go over them briefly here in a column by column context. For barrels, I recommend a recoil barrel, being either chambered compensator or extended barrel. Moving on to the mag column, I recommend either ricochets or high cals, as both give you a nice range bump and have something extra on top of them. Moving into the third column, I recommend Eye of the Storm, Slide Shot, and Enlightened Action. In the final column, I think the Precision Instrument has way too much value to pass up, and Opening Shot is a close second. Lastly, the Masterwork, I think that either stability or range are perfectly acceptable masterworks. I and many others believe that hand cannons need to succeed in 3 distinct categories in order to fall perfectly into the meta. These 3 categories are weapon feel, stats, and perk pool. Think back to all of the best hand cannons in the last 2 to 3 years of Destiny. Fatebringer, Austringer, Dire Promise, Igneous Hammer. All of these have those 3 things in common. They are all fantastic feeling, sound great, have great base stats, and have fantastic perk pools. The most important part of that trifecta is definitely the perk pool. Weapons like Rose have recently grown to extreme heights because of their perk combinations in the 3rd and 4th columns. For example, Slide Shot and Snapshot, or Slide Shot and Explosive Payload, 2 perks that pair exponentially well with each other. In previous metas, a consistency perk paired with a lethality perk was the go-to on hand cannons. I feel that now we are in an era where 2 consistency perks is better than a consistency perk and a lethality perk. The rise of perk combos like Slide Shot and Opening Shot, or Slide Shot and Snapshot, have given headway to this new double consistency perk meta. Thankfully, Luna's Howl provides a hand cannon that uses this exact principle perfectly. Perks like Eye of the Storm, Slide Shot, and Enlightened Action in the 1st column, and perks in the 2nd column like Opening Shot and Precision Instrument provide an extra layer of consistency and sometimes also lethality. I think that Luna's Howl excels in all 3 of those previous categories extremely well. The feel of the weapon is fantastic due to the fact that it has a precision frame, so its recoil isn't too high, its perk pool is extremely strong, and its base stats are good enough. They don't compare to something like a Palindrome or even Rose because of its grips. However, I still think that it has an extremely solidified place in the meta, and we will be seeing it a lot more in coming weeks.